Hello, denizens of the internet. Well, the Superman trailer dropped today, and the coverage will be wall to wall. And damn, I thought we were suffering from superhero fatigue. After watching Deadpool and Wolverine and the latest Superman trailer from James Gunn, perhaps, maybe it's better to call it oversaturation fatigue, which includes all the TV shows. I've also identified a concept I call lack of movie variety fatigue, and a big part of that is a lack of comedies. I mean, my favorite, you know that. Marvel, at its height, was able to package comedy, drama, galactic consequences, and classic Hollywood star power all into one film. It was the perfect movie fast food. Tasted good, but not very mentally nourishing. And in the same way, we can't live on a constant diet of fast food. We can't live off a constant diet of superhero movies either, especially the irredeemable trash we've had to put up with from both Marvel and DC. When James Gunn was announced as head of DC back whenever it was, I had said that he had a huge job on his hands. He was going to have to save the entire superhero genre, both DC's and Marvel's. Every time Marvel put out some disaster, it was going to also affect DC and vice versa. Suddenly, going from mortal enemies, they actually need each other to succeed. And Marvel desperately needs Superman to succeed, especially because Captain America: Brave New World is going to be a massive stinker. I'm sure Gunn would prefer that Marvel deep sixed it, but that's not his decision. And so we come to the first Superman trailer, the full trailer. First off, I just wanted to say that the production of the movie seems to have been free of the usual Disney Marvel rumors of endless reshoots. Gunn has a reputation of writing a script, locking it down, and shooting it. Marvel is still fucking around with Brave New World. The beginning of the trailer was instructive. After the grabby intro of seeing an injured Superman crashing into a wintry landscape, which I can only surmise was somewhere close to his Fortress of Solitude condo, and a couple of happy snaps of Clark Kent on his way to the Daily Planet, we don't get a Superman logo. We get the slate from James Gunn, followed by more Daily Planet stuff featuring Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, and then another slate, director of the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. I thought that was weird. Didn't you think that was weird? Who was that for? People who are James Gunn fans who have never heard of Superman and might be interested in his new gig? As damaged as the Superman brand is after Zack Snyder's mishandling of it, I cannot imagine Gunn's imprimatur or his listing of previous successes could eclipse Superman himself. I'm sorry, James, as much as I'm rooting for you, you are not bigger than Superman. I'm not going to go through the trailer shot by shot. Suffice it to say, it is definitely a return to the Richard Donner Superman universe. Bright colors, positive tone. I thought David Coruscant looked more convincing as Clark Kent than Superman. Curiously, in his Superman guise, I thought David looked a lot like Nathan Fillion, who also happens to be in the movie playing Green Lantern. Nicholas Hoult looks great as Lex Luthor. There was one sequence that caused a stir in my brain when the person threw a coffee cup at the back of Superman's head and he flinched. Was that a mistake or a subtle clue that his powers had been sapped in that sequence? I cannot imagine for one second that Gunn would make such a mistake. So I'm assuming the latter. Did my eyes deceive me, or did I see white people? I see white people. Are we getting the original Superman as he existed for decades in the comics prior to the present-day infestation of DEI, gender, and race-swapping bullshit? You have to understand that all this modern subversion, dystopian reimagining, and the dark imagery could only work, and I use the term work loosely, because you had something to subvert. If much more talented, smarter people didn't create all this stuff in the first place, you'd have nothing to work with. You took pride in destroying the past while creating no future. You are worthless vagabonds feeding off the goodwill of the past, and somehow you're geniuses. Anyway, Gunn's Superman is clearly a reset to sanity. I was also glad to see that Clark Kent was back. One of my biggest complaints of superhero movies is that they had dispensed with doing anything meaningful with their alter egos. That was half the fun of the comic books. What happened to Donald Blake, Thor's alter ego? I'm just so tired of the all-superhero, all-the-time BS. One last thing. Do we really need romance in the first Superman movie Gunn has put together? I don't think so. Does Lois know his secret identity already? Well, that depends on where this movie fits on the timeline. We certainly didn't need another origin movie, but part of the fun of the classic superhero comics is that no one ever knew the secret identity of our heroes. Was it Tim Burton who started the trend of superheroes revealing their alter egos just to get laid? I don't know. You can correct me in the comments. But I hated it in his Batman, and I hate it to this day. Personally, I would have preferred this Superman would be pre-Lois Lane knowing his identity, but I can't have everything. Overall, there is nothing in this trailer that would dissuade me from going to see the movie. In fact, I'm quite excited, even though, Superman was never my shizzle. I was always a Marvel kid with a heavy side dose of Batman. What did you think of the trailer? Tell me in the comments below. Till next time, denizens, be seeing you. Could One Punch Man defeat Superman?